Alrighty guys, not too bad, not too shabby. I mean, I don't hate the way it looks, so came out pretty decent. I mean, keep in mind this is gonna be black, so, and I'm thinking of doing like maybe flat black to kind of contrast a little bit with the hood. But the one thing I did kind of mess up a little bit, but it's actually not gonna be a big deal, is the paint actually got hot, okay, and started to chip and peel around here. So what I did was I actually made the trim ring just a touch bigger than it was originally what I was gonna do. So it covers all of that. It covers all that little chipped areas around the edge there. So, but yeah, it's gonna look pretty good. And yeah, it definitely is gonna get a nice flow of cool air going in there. So I think that's gonna work. So what I'm gonna end up doing is probably gonna paint it first, and then I'm thinking of epoxying it on, because I don't really want to screw it on or anything like that, or rivets or anything like that. I kind of want it to look flush like the way it does now. So I'm thinking maybe JB Weld or just some kind of epoxy just to hold it on there, and I think that would look the best. So let me go ahead and start priming this, because I kind of already scuffed it up a little bit. So I'm gonna go ahead and do some metal primer. Take this and see if we can get it painted and looking good, and get it installed. And then pretty much, yeah, I'll paint the the actual duct too. I'll paint that, and I did a little more like sanding on it just to make it look a little better, but I think I'm just gonna kind of leave it like that. And I think once I put the paint on there, it'll look pretty good. So, and yeah. So yeah, it definitely looks way better painted black than it did silver. I mean, all the welds I thought looked horrible now don't look so bad. Yeah, I'll say that came out pretty good. I'm happy with that. I'm glad I did paint it. And here is the trim ring that I have drying. So it's still a little shiny, but once it dries, that'll be flat. So let me let that dry. I'll clean up this little area here around. Maybe I'll scuff it a little bit for when I epoxy, it'll have something to hold on to. So you don't want to epoxy to something that's really smooth and maybe even has wax on it, because it could come off. So I'll kind of scuff it a little bit around there, and when all that's dry, we'll put it on, and this project will be pretty much done. All right, guys, I can't lie. It looks actually really good with the black paint. Much better than I expected. So it kind of just hit all the really bad spots on the where I was welding. And I still need to get some like 4-inch hose clamps, because right now I'm just holding it on with zip ties, but that's not really how I want to leave it. I want to be able to really clamp it down so it doesn't move, because I kind of have to adjust it to get it to line up with the hole. But I got it pretty good right now. So lines right up with that. And then we got the trim ring here that I let dry, and it looks really good too. So what I did was I kind of scuffed up, you can kind of see around the paint here. because what I'm gonna do is I think I'm just gonna use this panel bond that I was using on the inside of the car for a few like little plates I was kind of covering up some holes with. This seam sealer, I don't forget what it's called, Dynatron. Let me see if you can do that. Dynatron seam sealer. The stuff is like super strong. So I'm thinking of just using that, just because of the fact that I don't want to use like JB Weld, because if I ever have to get this off, it'll probably peel up half the hood. So with the silicone, it'll still be strong, but I could always get it off. Like I could always like slide something underneath it, like a knife or something, and cut it off to where we could, you know, if for whatever reason, if we were making something a little different or going bigger or whatever. But yeah, I think it looks pretty good. Okay, so moving on from that, another thing I've been kind of working on a little bit here and there is some ballast weights. So I had this 20-pound dumbbell, okay, that I just had laying around the shop, and actually only have one of them. And I was thinking that I could use those for ballast instead of going out and buying lead and all that. These are going to be 10 pounds a piece. And then what we can do, I'm going to basically, I cut the handle off. Okay, this was in between these two, and I'm basically just going to drill a hole through the middle of it and run this grade 8 bolt through it. So pretty much run it right through the center of it, and then we'll drill some holes in the back, the support bar I got going across the back, right here. Okay, either this one or this one. Both of them are behind the axle, so it'll give me some pretty decent leverage. But you can see I've got tons of room here that I could just literally put holes, you know, and add pucks as need be, or I could move them a little farther forward if need be, or whatever. So it's actually a really good spot to add ballast. But that was another thing I was working on, just to, you know, I like to use what I have around the shop. Lead is actually really expensive right now. I mean, I was looking on Facebook, and lead is, let's see, it was 100 pounds I was going to pay almost $200 for. So, I mean, like I said, I had these laying around, and I always do that, see what I got here first. And 20 pounds might do it, might be enough of, you know, what we need. If not, I could always find another dumbbell somewhere, you know, and do the same thing, drill holes and just get some grade 8 hardware. So let me drill this out, and we'll put some holes in the that frame in the back of the car, and get these mounted and go from there. All right, guys, so now I know what it's like to have to drill through a battleship. So those took quite a while to drill, at least 8 to 10 minutes on each one, and just constantly drilling. So, but we got it done, and I got some bolts here. These are some grade 8 bolts. One's a little longer than the other, but I got some washers just in case. So I've already drilled the holes, and I'm just gonna go ahead and mount these. And yeah, like I said, in the future, I'm gonna probably drill more holes up under there, just so I can move weight around or do what I got to do. So let's get those installed, and yeah, we'll be pretty much done. Alrighty, so I think it's pretty good there. My other bolt wasn't long enough, so I got to go grab another one of those at the hardware store. But yeah, the other one's going to mount right here. So I kind of divided them 50-50. You know, like I said, I'll probably put a couple holes here and maybe another one down at the end here. And I can always move them inboard a little bit if I have to. But yeah, that should work perfect. So I'll be on the lookout for another one of those weights because it works really good and pretty convenient, you know, convenient way to do it and not spend so much money on the on real lead. I don't know what this is. This stuff's like, it's some kind of a really garbagey steel. When I was drilling through it, it was coming out like, it would start off like steel, and then I'd be pulling out like dirt, and then pulling out like some black metal, and it was just like, I don't know. I'm sure they just throw whatever they can find in these weights to make them over in China or wherever, I don't know. But anyway, hopefully that's gonna help us, you know, all the changes we made. If I don't get to the track tomorrow, I'll get back Sunday. It just depends on the rain. We'll see. They're having a little event tomorrow at OSW, but I don't know if I'll be going to that or not. I don't really fit in any of the classes. I would get killed by the 28, 29 guys, because that's what I have. You know, these are 28 tall tires, I guess you'd say. So I get killed by them, and I don't fit the street class. So, is what it is. But anyway, we'll get back to the track and see how it works and go from there. But anyway, guys, thanks for following along. Appreciate you guys checking out this build, and that'll do it. Check you all later.